Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now. It's getting to the point now where if I'm not tracked and my privacy isn't violated by any particular website, my self-esteem actually drops. I get depressed. I just assume that I'm being tracked everywhere. I do my best to keep an eye on what information I might be sharing with one company or another and keep the amount of signups very, very limited, or at least controlled possibly through a Facebook account, which I realize is the pinnacle of the lack of privacy that anybody might have on the planet. Facebook has a complete disregard for you. They don't care about you any more than you just signing up and using their service so they can collect data about you so they can serve up ads that are more relevant to you that you'll click on so that they can make more money. Facebook, of course, is not the only company out there that has a vested interest in your privacy and your data and your information and your value in the marketplace of data. But yesterday, Obama unveiled the Consumer Privacy Bill of Rights, really putting you in control of your privacy. And this is something that's needed to happen, I would say, for quite some time. And web firms have now started to adopt something called a no track button. So what I thought I would do is ask, number one, for the Nomies who have joined us in TeamSpeak, and for anybody who's here watching the video, do you keep an eye on who's tracking you? If so, what do you use? And if not, why do you not care?
For Google Chrome, I use an extension which you can see on the monitor behind you. Ed Computer Support actually was nice enough to give me the full name of it. It's called Ghostery. And essentially what it does is the moment I go to a website, it says, by the way, here's everything that's tracking on this website. And it even goes to the fact of saying Google AdSense or, those type of things. So you can see what's benign. And more importantly, if a service, let's say, is bad, you go, well, do I really want to continue using this service of this company if they're going to allow that stuff to happen?
And the other tools that are used?
I use Do Not Track Plus.
So who doesn't care about how or where or why they're being tracked?
Oh, and
Christian?
sorry, I forgot to mention about the Ghostery. It does have some ability to block the trackers, but it's kind of beta-ish. But there is a slight chance you could block certain ones that they can go through the back end of it.
Sure.
Well, I have a question about tracking. I have my browser set to clear every time I get out. Is that good enough, or do they keep a copy of that on their server? You guys are making me think here a little bit.
Well, if you're surfing through like a like an incognito session or something of the like, depending on what browser you use to surf the web, that's probably the safest way of not storing any type of session-based, let's say, cookies or information that might be transferred from your computer to a remote computer, or going through an anonymizer or a proxy. You are still giving them data, but it may not be a more convenient web, but it's something that you might consider if you are worried that they are going to store something about you, even if you clear things locally.
Oh, I got
Alistor?
I got a good program you can use for Chrome. If you've ever heard of NoScript for Firefox, they came out with Script No for Chrome, and it pretty much does the same thing in a much neater user interface, I think. It basically blocks any scripts on a web page, which will take out a lot of your tracking, or if the website is malicious, it will stop any scripts because that is generally where malicious content can come from.
Yeah, that's something that I know has impacted people. Like, they wonder, well, why are my Google Analytics stats off? And it's largely because they're scripts that run remotely and are generally benign, used primarily to give site owners a better idea about who is visiting them to be able to deliver a better experience. But some people just don't want to be tracked, and I respect that. I don't think it's usually done for the right reasons, but I certainly do respect that someone does not want to have their information tracked. I'm of the mindset that if you don't want to be tracked, you're going to have a very difficult time living in this world because everything you do is tracked, whether you know it or not.
Yeah, and there is a way you can trust websites, and generally any site I know is safe, I'll trust it and let the scripts run. My main reason for running things like that is to stop anything malicious on a site that might have been hijacked that you think is trusted, and it happens all the time. You go to a news website and it was hijacked for a certain period of time, and a script loads on it, and now you're infected. That's my use for it. But yeah, there's certainly people out there who are anti-ad, anti-track, and it does get a little ridiculous to a point of why are you even on the internet, if you ask me.
Anybody else?
I don't care if they track me.
Why, Christian?
At what point does it matter? What I do is not that important, and I don't care at this point,
You know, I don't block ads. I actually like seeing ads. Maybe I'm in a minority there. And I prefer getting ads that are relevant to me. The only thing that annoys me with ads is when I see something that I'm just not interested in, or something that I already own. In which case I wonder, like, you guys are just wasting your money on serving up that impression because I already own your product.
Yeah, with ads, I like seeing ones that are relevant to me, and if they're not right in your face, I don't have a problem with it. I understand ads is a good way for people to run, for a method of them to run their websites, and a lot of people rely on ads, and I respect that. But I accept ads in most respects, but some websites just go over the top, and you can't even read the content because of it. So there's a certain middle ground that's really good to stick with if you are someone who puts ads on the site or someone who deals with ads all the time.
Well, that's the thing. Sometimes I'll get emails from people that, they love our content, whether it's on YouTube or on lockergnome.com or wherever, and they also say that they're having problems with the site. And when I go to look at the site, I'm like, the site's fine. I'm like, can you send me a screenshot? And they basically blocked the ads. I'm like, wait a minute. You don't support LockerGnome? Yeah, I do. I'm like, no, you don't. We're supported by ads. And if you block the ads, you are basically saying that you don't care about us delivering content.
Yeah, on the Nomi's chat, Kuna Ward, I apologize if I slaughtered your name, but they say being tracked can be good, especially for target ads, and I think that's the thing to where you really have to decide how far you're willing to go, and that's why I say I like the idea of knowing who is tracking me more so than blocking it necessarily, because you want to know who, kind of the mindset of I want to know who my enemy is, not just outright shoot them.
Chris, I have a question about these ads. I'm one of those guys that block ads, can't stand them. But if I guess here my question is like this: do you make money just on them showing up, or do I have to actually click on them?
It depends on which ads. Some ads run on what they call a CPM basis, or cost per mil. So for every 1,000 impressions, you might make $1, which is it's so incredibly low. Or there's some ads that run like on a CPC basis, or cost per click, and there are some ads that run on a CPA basis, or a cost per acquisition. So a CPC would be when you click the ad, which you should only do if you're interested anywhere. Then it generates an impression or something that's valuable. Then the cost per acquisition model is something like if I promote a link and maybe 1 million people visit it, but only one person buys it, I'll only get paid for that one person buying it. So there's CPM, CPA, and CPC.
If that's it for this one, there was a question posted on the log list that I think is actually a pretty good